Anyway, hate to be a little drum, but I just, I've been watching a couple of news articles this weekend and last night, and the country's really getting crazier and crazier. So, and I'm saying the same thing in hopes to get people's attention, because we need to have a united middle class. A united and healthy middle class creates a strong America. And you have to listen to who wants that to happen and has ways of making it happen. And then we need to vote people in and vote people out according to their strengths or weaknesses. And it's going to take some time to do, to get finally a handle over our political system, because we have no handle over this. And the founding fathers gave us this. We owe it to them. They weren't perfect people, but and they were elites, but they at least saw that this country, the middle class of this country, needs to run the important issues directed by our politicians. And just like you have a head of a company and you have the crew of a company, if that's not going right in a company, one or the other, that company goes out, right? Well, this country is much, obviously a whole different scenario, but it matches a bit, because we're on the way to communism right now, or socialism, and there's no getting around that fact that either we come together and we pull together and we look out for our neighbors and we talk to each other and we do those things that our founding fathers gave us the freedom to do, and or we don't have a society anymore. Anyway, we're going to start getting this down. I'm still working on some lighting. Barbie's moving to California, so she's going to be producer Barbie remote. But I think we might be able to get her on camera this way. So with all of that said, you guys have a great weekend. Say hi to each other. Go out and say hi to somebody. Just wave at them, man. Start that way. Just wave at them. Every time you see them, wave at them if you don't know them. And then you'll see the reaction change, evolve. You'll see the body language evolve. Go out and say hi to a couple of people today. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for being here.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, wow. I mean, this is going to be an interesting show. Not even this very quickly, a lot of people just jumped on. Thank you all for being here. And for Shirley, Shirley, 38ly, hello, first time listening to a live. Well, you picked an interesting one to attend for the first time. This is not a typical live. And this is actually, today is not, just to be fair as well, today's not our typical show. Usually we have specific guests, expert guests that are coming on for each subject. This show and tomorrow's show is to set up for our weekly show of Emma Lynn and Grandpa Rod. And that show is an interesting thing. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you're here. You know what I'm going to do for you? This is your first time live. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to put this on camera 4. People who've come to the show a few times know what camera 4 is. So I'm going to put it on camera 4. I'm going to tell you through something I'm working on as an intro video that talks about the 4 different lanes of our show and what we're involved in and what we do. So let's go here. So I'm still here. This is a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to stop it right there. And that's going to be a great part of this show. Me out. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, Mike is out. Yeah. So is my mic out now? I hope that's not the case. People, let me know if I'm not. Let me see. I've got sound coming out here, and maybe that video didn't have the mic going in. It sounded like it was coming through my headphones. But basically, what we're talking about here is part of the program that we have. This show has 4 lanes, and we talk about current events and politics. When it comes to that, it's very interesting because we are not a station and we are not interested in one party versus the other. We're interested in what the politicians individually, who they are and what they stand for, what they do, what their promises that are given and or kept. No. What does no mean? Mike out. Can you not hear me? Otherwise, I'm going to kind of go through here. This is what we're talking about, guys, for the other folks that are in there. It says, hello, first time listening to a live. Awesome. Thank you. Wow, great for being here. I appreciate it. And then Mike out, and then no, and then it looks like I think we've solved it. I can hear now. Awesome. So hopefully you're hearing what we're talking about. Well, you know what we're talking about, and part of this is what this show is about. With its 4 lanes, I was just talking about the different sections of the show. Let's say each lane has their own unique energy, their own information, their own special guests, their own playlists. And in those 4 lanes, we have, of course, we talked about the current events in politics and moving this country to where what our founding fathers. Ronaldo, how are you? Good to see you. Yes, can hear. Thank you, Ronaldo. Great friend of the show. A great friend, period. But the movement that's going on now is because of the founding fathers and something that they have given us that's basically been dormant, and that's our freedoms, those things we don't use. So we're here to empower, enrich, embold, bring together, gain girth to the great middle class. And the great middle class is what drives this country, just like the working classes. Same thing, other names, different used differently around the world. That's what we're here doing. That's what we're here bringing a voice to, being a beacon amongst noise, let's say. Let's just have nobody on the screen here for a little bit. As we talk today, we're going to be talking about the Regeneration School Program. That is a program. Here, let me bring back on the mic. Sorry, not the mic. Let me bring back on the. There we are. Should be able to come on to 4. Actually, let me make this full screen. So I am going to go here to 4, and so this is our program, right? This is the website I've been working on, and I've got you guys on the guests on the left to the right here. But if you look at here, this is Insights and Straight Talk. These are some of the downloads. These are just some of the softwares we've been doing. These are logos, which are just fillers right now, because we have about a half a dozen subscribers that are coming through. Sponsors that are coming through at different levels. We talk a little bit about this here in the starter program, the standard program. and what are involved in those programs. And then we have a spokesperson as well, program. And we're doing that to be looking at the energy and the funds, the ability to build the program that's here in that we're building up through in Mangum. And in this program, it's a school regeneration program. So it is a program that we are back to me now. It's a program that we're taking what we're doing with Emma through great interest. Let me come back to here. Through great interest, we're having the ability for teens to find their voice, to be able to talk to their parents, for their parents to talk to them. You know, each generation, we always consider and we think about the kids growing up in that day, and it's always different. It's always challenging. And it's always handled with great swings of emotion. Joey Davila, how can teens outside Oklahoma join this project? Absolutely. Well, I mean, every Saturday. Let me just divert back here, Joey. First of all, what we're doing in Oklahoma is not a project yet. It's something we're working, advertising, promoting, getting a lot of getting attention. But the part that goes into Oklahoma, meaning the connection there, Mangum, and why I'm here, is when the local teens, and I've had a meeting with a site today to hold this. There's several different options, but we've got to get a little bit of, we've got to get some people sponsoring it, just putting their company names onto different, like for instance, Emma and Grandpa Rod, so that we can have the ability to keep the airwaves on and rent sites and until it really becomes something further down the road. So you could help by doing now, but what I was saying is, and seriously, Joey, you can join now immediately every Saturday. We've already done 5 episodes. The 6th one is Saturday. That's at 1 p.m. Central Time. And Emma Lynn, who lives in California, I live in Oklahoma. I've got another granddaughter in Texas. So I'm moving this direction towards the kids. The magnet, the energy is pulling me towards the south and west, back up from the north and east where I was, which is awesome. And so Emma Lynn and I do a weekly program, and that program is now birthing, let's say, a talk around the table, and that's a tagline. That's a brand, if you want to call it, branding of giving teens the voice, the microphone, and the respect that they deserve to be heard. Now, this isn't the pendulum, thing. This is like where we need to be. This is where parents need to be. Our job is to get our kids. I've told my kids this from the very beginning, and my wife. Our job is to get our children ready for life. That's our job. Lovingly, with stories, with tools, with all the things we have the abilities to provide them. I want to see how rambling I'm getting. 15 minutes. It's our job to be the best, as the Army would say, to be the best that we could be, right? And it's our job. Now, I'm not really saying that my example as a parent is to be pointed at, but what I've come to realize over some time is that with adjustments and this and that, with tools, it's amazing the difference that each generation will become. I was talking yesterday about my sister and I made a pact to each other. Just casually, one time we were talking, this is when we were older and the kids were a little bit older, and we were saying we're going to change the direction of the family, and how each generation grows from there. Meaning, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. Meaning that your parents have an effect on who you become. I mean, you're an independent person, but things in your life and the way things may be handled and reactions and how you may feel or be made felt about yourself. I don't know if that was the right wording, but you know what I mean? How you become confident or not confident about your opinions, about your reactions, your attitudes. And that all depends on how things are worked through. And that's where parenting's difficult. It is a difficult thing. And they talk about a village should raise a family or child. And yeah, to a degree, that's absolutely true. No doubt. There should be influences. But, this program, now what we're doing, hold on, let me see if I'm missing anything. Okay, I've only got a couple more ahead. What is this? What is the biggest challenge you've faced so far? Okay, hey, Ariel, I'm glad you're asking that question because I'm just getting into this. So haven't really gotten started, but I can tell where the challenges are coming. First of all, a lot of people at my level, which is nowhere, are totally excited about this. So the nowhere, all us are really fired up about this. All of us believe that this is it. This is where we're going. From that point on, I haven't really got to them yet. I'm starting to hear, though, in the us there's the, hey, you're going to have this, people don't want to make change. Of course, we knew this. So I've had multiple conversations about what's coming. And I knew that was coming. I mean, it's like one of the ladies I was talking to today, we had a meeting about something, and she also made that comment after the story always is, why Mangum? Why, what brought you here? Do you have family here? Nope, don't know anybody here. I mean, my grandkids are close, but why Mangum? Well, Mangum is, in my proposal in the Senate, in the Congress, in the handout that still down the road in the journey. As this is rolling out, I'm finding I'm knowing already, having built a couple of businesses, the challenges and the naysayers and the people that are, really excited but totally non-influential, and to get to the people who are actually influential and have them to get their attention isn't as easy as somebody that's got no skin in the game, but it sounds like a really cool idea. Those are the things that that really I'm kind of in now and expect to be in for a little bit. So that's why I've been really pushing the sponsorship stuff and getting things along, because I mean, there's marketing monies that go out all the time, and all this stuff that not only the lights, but I mean the Matchmaker FM monthly, the Google monthly, the this monthly, that month, the thousands of dollars that go out that make this go. And this is the mission. So please subscribe and like, and if there's anything you guys can do, if you know anybody who's interested in sponsoring a program, point them our way. We'd love to talk to you. We've got several people that are coming aboard, so that have actually brought it up to me, and now that's kind of given me the confidence to say, hey guys, I know we have something that's really meaningful. Let's keep providing for it and nourishing it. Just a little bit, man. Just a little bit goes a long, long way. We're in the middle of middle America. Costs are low. Everything's very cool. It's all good. Let's just keep moving things along. And we got several hundred people aboard on jumping on early. Appreciate that. We're going to have another similar show tomorrow. But now let's get into the core of the subject. What is the Regeneration School Project? So there should be 5 core subjects. I led into here as we were just watching on the video from several weeks ago, the moment right now where whether you like whatever your politics is, this is not about people, personalities, parties. This is about effectiveness, results or not. Get mad at me if you want or don't, but I'm really interested at what is happening or not happening with Doge and both the school restructuring program. Now I've heard some changes and guys, folks, please jump in. Any updates you can give me? Some of the stuff we don't want to go down too many alleys that are empty, just for time and money's sake, Luckily, everything's really close here, so I can conserve on money really well. So we're working on being smart about things because we're down. I mean, I'm looking at 401k, whatever. No, I already did that. That's gone. What's the retirement? When you retire, you get a monthly thing. I can do that, but I want to wait as long as I can so I can get something out of it. I'm just bringing all these things. So what's been the biggest challenge faced so far? Finances is definitely really starting to look me straight in the face. And that's something that definitely looks like it's going to work out. We've got several sponsors that want to participate. They like the message and they like the direction that we're going. The other thing is I think the vision's really coming together. We're in the Regeneration School Project. We want to really start here in Mangum because it's a very small town. So it's got the ability to have a pilot program that's pretty easy. I don't know any of this stuff. So I'm just saying relatively, if I was still in Chicago, it'd be different scale wise. Any of the suburbs, anything, it's a different. So it is relatively easy to create a pilot program to be able to do something and have it affect. And it's scalable because this is the county seat. So it's got a little bit of power. It's very small, but it's got a little bit of county seatism, whatever that is. It's got a little bit, so there's a little political stuff there. And it's not really going to ever, it would be very difficult to ever go away, but still being in a little town, even though it's losing people and needs help. So all these things coming together, placed within the fact that it's right in the middle of the middle class in middle America, in a small middle town, southern town, lot of history, lot of unknowns about the state, and the state of Oklahoma has a history of making bold moves in education. Over the last 6 years, that reputation has changed, and things have not happened for the better because of that. And I don't know all that history at this point. But the most difficult part is just pulling it all together. I'm a one-man band, so to speak, a one-person thing. So any input you guys can give, any help you can give, there are people who are stepping up, especially a lot of past guests. They know what we do here and they're excited about it. So kind of that's it. It's just I know there's going to be bigger challenges Artel, but that's been the biggest. It's just kind of starting to bring it together and having to check to see what I can eat today or not eat, and trying to just kind of balance all that. That's just starting a new company, so to speak, right? I balanced it as best as I could, timing wise. Getting a little short because I'm canceling paid guests because I want these lanes to be created with people, and so I can get some assistance and get some special people that I've worked with that seem to work real well together. And it's just something I'm working on, and I'd love your support, folks. Let's go to Bradley. Bradley, dude, I haven't seen you in a week or so. I give him a shout out every time he comes on because he was one of my first repeat offenders, so to speak. So, Bradley, how do you keep teens? Hold on, I'm wearing those glasses. I can't see. Motivated to share their voices. Okay. There's a twist in that, Bradley. And let me tell you what I mean by that. The twist is, I don't think you'll ever see the motivation go away. The confidence is definitely something, and you'll see it in Emma and I. I have to be very careful, one, not to just overtalk her. It goes both ways. I have to become a better co-host, as she's growing and maturing into a co-host on her own and finding her voice, and being being a very intelligent person. She is not finding that voice, and also having already had a voice, being able to draw from experiences in confidence and experiencing, saying, this is how you handle that. And the more that conversation happens between teens, the more openness, and they don't see, an adult coming in and judging them or I think I know Emma said, but I think it was about, well, she said it a couple times, but I think it was about three shows ago. I think it was about 3 shows ago. Somebody had asked her a question similar to this, but she said, you got to give, some kids are just going to want to argue and be jerks, and that's different than what I'm telling you right now. But this was to a parent who was having an issue, but she had said to them, you got to give them the respect they deserve. If you were talking to another adult and there was the same, not conflict, but the same point was made that you disagreed with, or, the same situation occurred and it was 2 adults, you wouldn't be like, you're just a kid. Yeah, you're just another adult. You're just blah, 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 and discount it. You got to really listen, right? That's the difference right there. So let's see. Branson, one more shout out, Bradley. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's a beautiful question. Again, I don't think it's motivation at all. I think it's giving them a voice, giving them a platform, giving them the mic, shutting the hell up, listen to them. Because a lot of times, they'll say stuff that if you ask an adult the same thing, it'd be answered very much the same way. I don't know. Let's both listen more when the show goes along. So thank you again, Bradley. Appreciate it. See, Branson, can families from other states participate too? Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd love that. Yes. So let's talk, Branson. Let's talk a little bit about this program. So the reason I kind of got a kick in the behind about doing this is because Emma and I have been getting these conversations from people similar to what you're asking, Branson, about that communication. People are starving for this, for how to get involved and become communicative with your children, your parents, your friends, your neighbors, and so forth. That's what this is all about. We're just being a little more pigeonholed, not pigeonholed. We got a mirror over it. We're focusing a little bit on this specific area because it's important, man. This is the next generation coming up, and think about it. They're looking at a change. The generation before them is just blowing up about all sorts of crazy things, and that's all kind of unraveling, and they don't know if it was the truth or is the truth or isn't the truth or is a big conspiracy, or they're really their lessons coming 13 to 19 into 20s is really freaking mixed up, really bigly mixed up, and then the generation before them is their parents. Is that right? Yeah, is their parents' area, right? And some of the college students as well, but basically in there, right? You know how it all. So they're seeing, and their parents are the last ones to ever have seen our stuff. These kids have never seen anything that me as pay phones and Thomas Brother guides and maps and cell phones this big and I said pay phones already, I'm sure. All sorts of other things, but phones that had plugs in the walls, home phones that you could only walk as far as the cord got you. Teenage girls used to hate that. Imagine why, because everybody's listening in. So they got those really long ass cords. That technology kept growing and changing things pretty dramatic, but now it's really dramatic with AI. So let's see what else. So how can families participate with the show we do on Saturdays? We do that show every Saturday, and that's a live stream. So it's just like this, but it's Emma and I, and we do that at 1 p.m. Central Time. And that show is about, as we were talking about, Regeneration School Project. And this project is to start in the school system with 5 core subjects, right? You have your typical math, science, history, English, and then we have this project, the Teen Talk, Teen Around the Table. That's a project within the project. We want to have Mangum bring kids in from around Mangum, from around Greer County. I think the whole county's got about 18,000 people total. Maybe less than that. I heard maybe today it's actually less than that. I think because more and more are leaving. That's something we got to fix. That's something we got to offer. You have to offer the children something. In order to offer something, you got to give them a voice. A lot of money that's here is old money, and it's just tied up. A lot of other money that's here is lives somewhere else, owns a few buildings here, and just having to do whatever it's doing. The military base is about 20 miles, 23, 24 minutes south of here towards my kids. And so that has attracted a lot of the regular smaller type shops. So got a lot of work to do. So this to me was a place that needed help, a place that's in a small town, but in a county seat that gives it a little bit more potential vision. Very old, there's 2 groups, right? There's the very old, the really that middle group. Basically what happens is people are born here. This is what I heard. People are born here. They leave, eventually go to school and get other things done, and then they come back after when they retire or whatever. So we need to attract that middle. And there's stuff around. There's just the desire to have it done. So as far as participating right now, subscribe to our channel. Give us likes on the shows, the episodes. Subscribe, sponsor a channel, sponsor a lane. Very easy. We have a very easy program that we do. I showed a little bit of my website. Go to the website, www.rodduff.com. And actually, I'll do that myself while I'm typing. Oh, shoot. The only problem is I can't see very well. www.rodduff.com. Hope I hit all the right buttons there. Go there and you can find out subscriptions. A couple $100 a month for kind of dipping your toe in. We'll shout out your name and do all sorts of good things for you. And we've got a range there. So check that out. That would be great help. It helps keep the show going and helps my ability to go and look at places to be, because I can't bring kids here, obviously, for multiple reasons. Can't have kids at my place. That's one. And if I'm counting on this being successful, there's not enough room here, or ability to manage that. I'd be a disaster, and we don't want that. So, what else? That's some of the ways to participate. Pretty soon, I mean, if you're close, bring your kids over to Mangum. Well, let's set it up, because I don't have a place yet, but I am going to have one shortly. Got to have internet set up, power. Love to have some sort of program where we can feed the kids as they come in. Like a sandwich and a juice box, kind of a school lunch program thing. Anyway, just some ideas, some ways. And again, I'm asking for you guys' help there. Chris Hanna coming up. Branson Hill, thank you very much for your question there. That was a great question. Will there be online sessions for those who can't attend in person? Yeah, so the answer to that is yes. We have not yet put a school program in, but we do have the Insights and Straight Talk with Emma Lynn and Grandpa Rod every Saturday at 1 p.m. on and that streams to LinkedIn, YouTube, X, to Facebook. Did I say Instagram? To all the major, to all the those type of, doesn't do Snapchat or anything like that, but Discord I haven't done yet. I do have a school program for the AI community. It's on hold right now because this is kind of taken over the AI run. That's got a lot of good stuff in it. I'm actually talking to a studio somewhere out here in Oklahoma, west of Oklahoma City, and I'm going to Tulsa actually, and I'm going to talk to them about doing a studio, put all the AI content together, and organize some content and put that in there, because the poor community is really built up, and it's not getting as much information as I've typically given it. This is kind of taken over for. So Chris, you can go on that live at Saturday at 1, or you can come back to the show, which is, again, it's on all those that I just said streamed on my accounts, IMS _PT on Instagram. I forgot what on my profile on LinkedIn, I have 2 of them. One of them has me in a bald head, and I'm at a beach. That's my personal account, which I still reference and talk about all the time on there about the show. But the other one's the show, Insights. And that's got like, oh God, it's got a ton of followers. The other one's got a couple hundred, I think. So it's not the other one. It's the one that has the higher number of followers. And then, but go into YouTube, YouTube @RODDDUFF 1962. And that's where this is streaming to right now. So I think I got your question answered there, Chris. You can't attend in person. Go on to the Emma show. And now keep in mind, the in-person has not started yet. I am working to bring that to fruition. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I don't want to get myself in trouble. Here's my website. I didn't put a dot in there, but www.roddduff.com. That's the website I just showed you a little bit ago. And you can check out sponsorships. And I'm going to be putting landing pages for guests on there and more information about this program, the Regeneration School Project, the talk around the table, talk at the table for the teen voice. This is really important. It's the generation that follows behind. This is really the generation, just so you think about another way to look at this. This is really the generation that my generation, our generation, those that are, let's say 50 and up, even not 45, maybe. I think it'd be the next generation, but let's say upper mid 50s and up. Anybody in that generation, those kids better be successful in the economics, in the societal environment, because they're the ones that are, if the economy folds between now and when they're fully in charge of it, if it folds, that's kind of, I think it'll make it there no matter what. If they don't continue that through, I think that's right where I'm really depending on. At the end of the day, I got to have the economy okay, otherwise I don't have anything to live on, right? I mean, it's kind of the very relational when you're living on the borrowed time and not borrowed money, but pared down, more structured money. All right, so let's come back up here to Chris. Thank you again for your question here. And Jeff Lamb, how can schools adopt the 5th core subject curriculum? Oh, I like the way you put that, Jeff. So I'm starting this pilot program now. And I started to tell you why I really kind of got excited by it. I'm over 315. We are now over 315 episodes. Actually, Emma on Saturday, I thought it was somebody else the day before. I miscounted. Sorry about that. A really good show, the show before too. So technically 2 of them hit the 315 spot on the episodes, but we are now there. And Emma, so the Insights and Straight Talk with Emma Lynn and Grandpa Rod is a project that is on its going to be this Saturday. This upcoming one is going to be its 6th episode, and that project is what is sparking this project that you're talking about, Mr. Jeff Lamb here. So it'd be very easy to adopt it. To get them to adopt it is another thing. So what we're in the process of doing is creating a pilot program where the show Emma Lynn and Grandpa Rod is the component where kids come and talk and express different things, bullying, fashion, pressure to be more than just a freaking 12-year-old, 13, 14, 18-year-old kid. And that's boys or girls, and the dating and the difference, and how do people feel about themselves coming out of, and what are their thoughts about What is society? What is real? What isn't real? There's a lot right there. That's a big, complex uh, look through the glass. That's a complex look through the glass for such simple minds. Think of it. I'm 63, so I know for me, when I was this age, it was a very simple, much simpler, and it was getting a little bit more complex. Remember, I grew up in the 80s, in the high school in the 80s. So there was the whole Don Johnson. There was a whole thing going on there. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun time for all people, I think. I don't think the 80s was bad for anybody at all. So I didn't really grow up in a bad time, but it was different, right? That's a really pressurous time. And I've been told, and I should have listened more earlier in life, more recent life, that kids are committing more and more suicide. And I didn't believe that years ago. I'm talking, I don't know, let's call it 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I was giving advice that, and that concern should be, and I was like anybody else, like, come on, kids, they're kids, man. What? Seriously? There's a lot of stuff out there. I learned a lot in the last decade, and I learned a lot in the last year, and I learned a lot in the last 2 years, 3 years. So some people know what I mean by those statements if they care to listen, if they're on. So Jeff, there you go. So how do they do it? So we are creating this pilot program, and that kid interaction, we will start. So this is where AI comes in and starts tabulating some details. I don't know how any of that works, or even if it does at this point, because somebody smarter than me about that's got to get involved. If anybody's out there smarter than me about that, and listen and see where I'm going with this, if it makes sense. The next step would be getting local counselors to give their time, and churches, pastors, and clergy people in different churches. There's like 12 churches here. Give their time and become that mentoring path. So how it works is you have 5, as the gentleman said a couple steps ago, the 5th core. Is this one? Participate in school. Great questions, by the way, Jeff Lamb. Yeah, the 5th core subject. So you have your 5 subjects. Included in that is a subject where you literally track your direction in life, your interests. You learn about things that we talk about on this show. Healing from the inside out. Is there healing that's to be done? Is there conversations that need to be had? Counselors that don't just show up once a year or once, in your junior year, right before you're getting ready for college, and you have a couple of 2-3 times with them, and that's it. I'm talking about a program that follows you through the school process. Across the country is that 5th core subject. And in that subject, you're getting tests. You're getting given time to speak with a counselor, one-on-one, in each of these. And classroom settings are one set, and then broken up into other settings. Multiple counselors, heavy counselor, a lot of funds nationally would go to that, but billions and billions and billions are wasted on programs that are just to put band-aids, just say no to drugs and this program and that program that have not ever proven successful. What we need to do is go back and heal the inner child, heal the, go through and talk about that. Talk about it's okay to have a voice. Now there's going to be extreme cases that have differing results and so forth. So there's a reason to start in a pilot program, and probably in the counselor areas where you start to bring in some of that tracking of results that are coming through. I'm going to need some assistance with government programs and meaning how to get into the House, how to get into the Senate. I have some friends starting that. Sean, if you're listening, you said you would at some point. Let's have that conversation and talk about where that might run through the system. But again, this is we're not even on the 1,000-mile journey yet. We've taken our first step yet, but in this case, you got to take a few steps before you get on the journey, because we've got to get somebody's attention to say, I mean, we've got a lot of attention, but not attention to people that run that place right there. There's Emma. There's Emma, my granddaughter, Emma Lynn. She's the older. So you see a lot of social media with the younger granddaughter. Fun time. So what advice do you have for teens struggling to be heard? That's going to change. That's going to change and vary depending on the crowd they're in, their parental support. And honestly, parents have a huge part of that. The answer to that question there, Clayton. What advice do I give? So, I'm going to go back to something Emma probably would say, I would think, and that would be to, just say, this is it. This is what's happening, and then follow through with whatever that is. And in that, stick with, it's hard, especially the first times, to not be grasping and tight and anxious, but take a deep breath, say what it's going to be. I'm assuming this is all a valid and valuable point that you're standing up to be heard about, but start with your friends. Be vocal there. You can't just not be vocal and expect ever to be heard. I know Emma said something along that line where look, you can't be upset about not being heard unless you're trying to be heard. Now, you also don't want to go on the other side and be rude and obnoxious. So, be active, be part of the surroundings that you're in. I moved all the time. I had a little trick. And what I would do, here's something for you. That was, Clayton Jr. Clayton, here's something I always did growing up, especially the older I got. So I'd come to a new school, because remember, I was in the military. I went to a bunch of different schools. I always knew people, right? Always knew this, always knew that, different cliques, different groups. So you walk around and kind of get the lay of the land, just like you do with your classes and all that. And then you start to look at, okay, who are the different people hanging out? Who's chilling? And who do you like or whatever? And, what seems to work? And then you kind of, what I used to do is kind of hang. Usually it's kind of a group thing. It's like this mosh pit, kind of like hanging out, mingling, and just kind of doing their thing or whatever. Say at the lunch in California, let's say it was the quad, out there in the quad, which is cool, out Huntington Beach, one of my favorite experiences. But so I kind of work my way in and kind of listen in and just kind of lean in a little bit and just kind of be somewhere else, but listening in on what's going on over there. And then from there, find a way in, and you're in. And at that point, a good way to be heard is body language. In this show, it's funny. We do a lot of communication. I don't like just vocal. I think visual and all of that has a point of conversation, of communication. And I think it's important that they're all not unified, but definitely are part of the senses that gather the information, because that's what brings it in. So you've got to be active in that, Clayton. You've got to put your work in. You've got to do a little something. Let's see what Jim Carrey has to say. Hey, Jim, how can communities without funding start something similar? How can communities? What community are you talking about? Which one would you be referring to? So, Jim, a great question. That's exactly my question. How do you do that? What we're talking about here, start something similar. Start the actual costs of this broadcast going out isn't much. The cameras and all that back when they cost, the actual cost when they were acquired, was thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But I mean, you've got a camera on your laptop and a mic, maybe earphones, maybe not. I don't know. That doesn't take much cost wise to send it out. The message is cool. Jim, there's my website. You know what? I'm going to give you my email too, guys. If you guys want to get involved in this, there was a gentleman that asked earlier. I think that's right, guys. Is that right? Ronaldo, is that right? You can see better than I am. IMSTRI.com. That looks right. So that's another website. That's the machinery business I built up over 30 years. There's still some stuff I need to pull over from the blog on that side. Some really cool process videos I want to bring over on the industrial playlist on the show. What else? What was that about? The Jim Carrey, when we're handling something similar, there was another gentleman there's actually two other questions about being outside of the area and helping. If you guys are all still listening, you can go to my website. Absolutely. Of course, that's my job. Send you there and subscribe here. But send me an email. If you do, there's other contact information when I reply back to you. And I mean, we can, what do you call it? Collaborate. This is something that's important. If there's folks that, I mean, could you imagine having like 4 of these in surrounding states all at the same time? And then that noise starts to like, instead of this one ding, 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 ding in Oklahoma, in Southwest Oklahoma, ding, 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 ding. Instead of that, it'd be like, and then that would maybe create some noise. So, hey guys, Jim, hook up with me. Give me reach out, man. Just hit me an email. I don't know how to get in touch with you except for when you're here, which is awesome. Thanks. But really seriously, that's awesome. Let's all hook up, and this is how it all begins. Can you feel the energy? Can you feel it? So here we go. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate that. And Justina, what's your vision for the next 5 years of this project? Oh, great question. Boy, that's one of those damn business questions, isn't it? I did take business in college, so fortunately, I am a little bit qualified to answer this. My vision is I'm wondering if we would be in Congress or in more of a regional program. 5 years is quick though, but this is a different time, and this is something that it's got to kind of go somewhere before, this could be I don't know what party's going to be in next, what administration. This locally could be a thing, and I don't want it to be like a charter school or something. It's got to be the school system. This has actually got to go worldwide, man. We got to change the world with this. I mean, literally change the world. 5 years? No, we're not. Well, good. But 5 years not change the world. But this is about changing the world. So there's a lot to be done. We're doing a lot. And we just love your guys' support. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, there's our website. Check this website out. Actually, here I'm gonna steal this time. Okay, I'm gonna steal it. Screw it. 4. All right. So here's our website. So this talks about the story. Rod Duff, the host and creator of Insights and Straight Talk, a podcast where raw truth meets bold voices. This journey began, and it goes through the journey, and here's some of the new beginnings. Just kind of a fun little thing we've been working on. This hasn't been released totally live yet. Parts of it are engineering experience that builds confidence, process optimization, technical consulting, quality assurance, team guidance. This is where all the history comes from. Turning setbacks into new beginnings, leadership and growth. We've got a lot of projects really going through. I don't know how many of you know that I'm a poet. Have been all my life, very much so. Got many poems out. Actually, a number of people want me to put a book out. I just have so many things going on. It's time to kind of line them up. And when one of them breaks, I've got one of my guests the other day, that lady that has 9 companies. She mentioned her empire. I've got an empire in waiting. I've got a book ready. Got the poetry not ready, but there. It's just got to be put together. And then this podcast, and then we have a number of sponsored programs, but mainly not this podcast, but the push of Regeneration School. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but my voice is a little low today. So anyway, this is the mind behind the words and some of the stuff that we've been getting into. Here's my contact information, folks. This is the YouTube channel, the website, and my email. But go on the website, please, and click into any of the contact information and leave that information there. That's it, man. Take a look at what you got going on, man. I appreciate you guys being here. This is Insights. This is Straight Talk. My name's Rod Duff, and God bless you guys. Support the cause, man. The movement's running. Let's keep it going. All right, and I'm out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here, and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out.